Hello everyone, this is Designer K from Geeky Ants, and we are back with another episode. In this episode, we will be talking about UX strategy. To talk about this amazing topic, we have two lovely people from our team, design team. One is Parul, UI UX designer from Geeky Ants, and we have Ritik, who is a UI UX designer from Geeky Ants. So let's welcome them to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Great. I do remember that I want to show share a funny story. So a couple of weeks back, I had a presentation and I did not reveal the topic, right? But Ritik was the one who kept messaging me, what is the topic, what is the topic? And I asked him, you will get to know tomorrow, but then he wanted to make sure that it is not UX strategy.
Oh,
Then I was puzzled, like I asked him, why do you not like the topic or something? Then he's like, no, that is the topic I'm interested in. So here you are today to talk about your most interested topic, UX strategy. Are you excited?
Yes, I am excited, and the best thing that I mean, why I am excited about this because I have seen many companies, I have seen many designers not following the UX strategy, and I have seen their design work falling behind the business goals, right? So there was no alignment with the business on UX. So this is what I have seen, and I always wanted to be someone who creates a experience that aligns with the business requirements. So I think UX strategy plays a huge role in that.
Absolutely, I agree on that. So before we dive into the topic, right, let's just quickly introduce you to our audience. Can you guys say a little bit about yourself so that the audience know you better?
So I am a UI UX designer and particularly a design practitioner. I started my design journey in 2019 when I was in college, and I was doing bachelor's in engineering in computer science. I was a development student, but I had no interest in development as I was not good at calculations and mathematical stuff. So I needed something in my I mean career, to where I can be where I can make a good impact, right? So I would say design came naturally into my way, and in my early stage of my college, I got to meet some great design leaders. So uh, they actually showed me the path, right? What it is about and what you can do. And the best thing about design is the way they showed me how you can solve any problem with the system thinking approach. So that was the best part. That was something inspiring for a student. So that's how I started learning about it. And in our college, I got a chance to have a 1 year course from college itself on UI and UX. And later on, I got a chance to attend workshops in Pune in Imagine XP office. Like also I got a chance to work with the EY designers, right? So that actually showed me how designers are doing things and how they are solving the real world problems. So yeah, that is how I started. Then later on, I'm like here at Weekends.
That's great to know your story. I'm sure most of the designers can resonate with you because most of them started from the technical background, being an engineering student, and then they made a switch. Pretty much similar. And yeah, you Parul, can you go?
yeah, my story is kind of similar to Ritik's. I was also an engineer before, but I was always passionate about design. I love to paint, but later I got to know about digital paintings and all. So during COVID period, I started to have more interest in like digital paintings and all. Then I started doing graphic design. Then I did some internships, and I got to know about there is something called UI UX design during my college period. So I did some internship in that field as well. My work was good, and I can say that I'm a self-started UI UX designer. And later I got campus placement, and I have a 1 year of experience, and I've also collaborated with some freelance. I have done some freelance work as well. So now I'm here at KKS.
That's amazing to know your stories. Okay, now let's dive into the topic. there's a lot of buzz around, UX strategy. A lot of designers are implementing that, trying to implement that. Like you said, most of them don't follow. But now, to get started, let's understand what is UX strategy. Like, can you tell it in a way so that anybody who is not in this field can also understand what is UX strategy?
Yeah, I'd like to start with a like kind of little story of my own mother, right? So I feel that all the mothers in India are the best strategists,
Yeah.
right? Because
Well
I
said.
have seen like while growing up, I have seen a lot of guests coming into our home, right? So she used to prepare for it. She used to cook different dishes for different guests, right? So why she was doing that? Because she wanted to make the guest feel welcomed, and she wanted to make that guest come again, right? So that is what about like exactly making the other person or customer feel valuable, and to because they are spending time, lot of their time in using the product. So UX strategy is like bridging the gap between business needs and user experience, not user experience, experience design, right? So UX strategy is just bridging the gap between business strategy and experience design. How? Like by actually understanding what people want,
Yeah.
right? What are their needs, right? So as I told earlier that I have worked in a I have worked with a team where use business strategy was over empathized, right? So there was more emphasis on the business needs, but there was less emphasis on the UX needs, right? So also, I mean, the problem is not with the team, that the problem is they don't have the knowledge about that. So I mean, nowadays there are, if I compare like design in Bangalore to design in Chandigarh, where I earlier used to work, there is a lot of difference. People here know the value of design much better than the people that are there. I mean, it can be wrong also, but this is at some extent it is true.
Like if I want to like explain UX strategy, like if I'm explaining it to like someone who doesn't know anything about designing, so like I like first of all I will clear this doubt. Like some people confuse UX design with UX strategy. They feel like it's the same thing, like UX is there as well.
Yeah.
So like these two things are like completely different. So like UX design more focuses on research and solving problems, whereas UX strategy more focuses on uh, like building a roadmap to achieve the goal.
Yeah.
So I would say like it's kind of like a planning document that we form before like starting a project or or building a product. So that is from my end.
Great. Yeah, like you said, we can start from the basic. Like everything that we do on a day-to-day basis is a strategy. And everybody, like we say, design is everywhere. The process involved in design is also everywhere, right? Even if we are, another example could be we are planning for a trip, right? How we are commuting, and what happens after we go there, how are we like trying to gain the experience from that place, everything basically to make that journey enjoyable, to make that planning is a strategy, right? So now what do you think are the core components are or like the secret weapons of UX strategy? What makes the best UX strategy?
Okay. So there are different things that makes a UX strategy perfect, or you can say which will align with the business goals. I'd like to start with the first having a vision, right? So I have seen a lot of designers also, lot of stake different stakeholders also. They don't have any vision, right? So what I mean by don't have any vision, like they don't know where they want to go, right? So the vision statement answers this question, like where you want to be in next year, or where you want to be in n number of years, right? So this is the most important part. And to actually write a vision statement, we need there is a three-step process to write down a vision statement. First one is to gather the information about the current state, right? Where we are right now. It's obviously it's needed to know where we are now so that we can move forward, right? So first step is gather information, get the data about where we are currently now, and the second step is like where we want to go, right? And the third step is the plan, right? How we will be planning that, like Barul told earlier about the UX roadmaps.
Yeah.
That is like planning.
Hmm.
So if you have the idea of where you are right now and where you want to be right now, where you want to be in coming year, and what is the plan, you can make a better strategy.
Do you have any other? Uh,
Yeah, I can say that the coordination between like there are mainly like three things like we need to consider. Like it's the people, the business stakeholders. The second is the UX research we do, competitive analysis we do, and the third is the implementation, like the planning we do, how to like make all those things together and make it happen. The coordination between all these three things are like very very important. Like for forming a UX strategy and to making a product successful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well said. So now that we know, we understood the what of UX strategy, right? What is UX strategy, and what is the secret sauce that makes it more powerful, and all of that. Now let's come to the why part. Why exactly do uh, the products or the brands need to incorporate UX strategy into it, and what could be the tangible outcome or benefit out of this strategies?
Okay, so like I will say it in like very clear, simple statement. If you want your product to be like very successful with like a 99% of chance, it's better to implement UX strategy in like when you start building the product, because like this is the roadmap. Like you have vision, you have goal, and you have plan. Like the vision is the first thing, like what is the objective of your product, right? If you're not focused on that part, you might deviate, right? Like when you are building a product, you should have like a clear objective. Otherwise like developers or designer might create something, some design that might even not be necessary, right?
Correct.
If you are like for example, if you are selling electronic devices, you should have like a clear goal. Like you are like selling like electronic devices, like for example smartphones, okay? But like if you start like creating designs for like keyboards, like or some other things, right? So like it's like deviating from the your main goal. So this is like the main focus, like well why UX strategy is needed, because of that. So you should complete your product without like deviating like from the main goal.
Okay. You have something to-
Right. Yeah, I guess Parul has, I mean, almost covered most of it, but I'd like to, I mean, put some light on centering the user, right? So UX strategy helps the businesses to, keep the experience based on the user only. I mean, your strategy, strategy might be different based on the target audience.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
if you see the strategy of UX strategy of Apple, and if you compare it with the UX strategy of Samsung, you see the huge difference based on the target audience, right? So they are targeting a different set of audience, that audience who want to spend a premium amount, right? And on the other hand, Samsung is having a different set of audience, right? So it also depends on the target audience. So UX strategy helps you uh, you know create a vision and make I mean create a vision and be aligned on the business goals along with the target audience. That is the like major part of that UX strategy, I would say. Also, I mean, a quick example is like you are like going to a wedding, right, in a different city or different country, right? So you don't know the destination. You just thought that you just went out from your hotel and you just thought that, yeah, last time I took right turn, right? This time I took right turn, right? Because from my previous experience I have took this turn. I reached the destination this way. So you might be running in the silos. So there is no point of spending that time or efforts running in silos rather than having, I mean, if we have a vision, if we know the user, that would be beneficial. So UX strategy helps in that way.
Adding to more points, like if you have a proper UX strategy, like it can save like cost to the company as well, because it will be like spending too much on like unnecessary resources. If you're building some technology, they are like not for free, right? You're spending some money on that as well. So it's like very necessary to like have a straight roadmap of like what you want, what's your objective, and what's your target audience. So like we should not deviate from that path. And like if we have something like more features, we can always implement in future. But as like of the current goal, it's good to have a roadmap and like to save of course the money and not cause some unnecessary spendings and all.
Right, well said. I would like to add to the point that you mentioned about the target audience differing from iOS to Android. Right? I think Apple is one of the best example to have the UX strategy. One example about in the Apple brand itself is the iPhone, right? So basically, they follow three main philosophy, which is empathy,
Right.
where they say we deliver the best product to you better than any other brand. That is the statement.
Right.
And they have focus. Basically, they give the users what they need and eliminate the unnecessary opportunities. See, we have so many things, so many options to do in the Android, but still we come back to iOS, even though it has limited options. It doesn't give us so much of freedom, but still we come back to it because of the recognition, because of the brand value that it has created. And the last philosophy is a very interesting one, which is called impute. So basically what they say is people do judge a book by its cover. So if you present yourself in a very creative way, then they take it as a well reputed brand. But if they present it in an unorganized or a messy way, then they perceive it to be a mess, the product to be a mess. And they have integrated this strategy in iPhone, right? I'm sure most of us own iPhone, and we still collect the iPhone boxes. Do you have it?
Yeah,
I have it.
Yeah.
We don't throw it. What is the reason? There's no need of it.
Yeah, even I don't like to throw any box.
Yeah, my
Right.
main purpose is like when I'm exchanging the phone, I will use it.
Yeah, exactly. That is one point
Yeah.
where they say reselling is much cheaper, or I mean, it is higher when you resell. The value is higher. But I don't think anybody would resell it. I myself won't do it. But it's so wild. Why I'm talking about all this is it's so wild to think about how much efforts Apple puts even in the unboxing experience, right? Just opening the box experience, they spend so much. Will you believe if I say that they have a dedicated space and a dedicated design employee who is locked in that room, opening those boxes like 100 prototypes with different material, with different designs, right? So when we think of all these things, they are trying to sell this feeling, sell this
Yeah, yeah.
luxurious feeling. We know what's inside the box, but still, if you've observed, when you're opening the box, right, it is not too fast, it is not too slow.
It
There
has
is
a
a
pause.
friction.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like
there
a
is one
smooth-
pause also.
Smoothness is there.
Ah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Starting there is a pause, then there is a friction, and yeah.
Exactly. So they purposefully do that. Even though we know what's inside, we have that, we are connected that, okay, I'm so happy. That feeling of, unboxing feels so good, right?
Right.
So this is again a strategy. That's why people value the, brand so much. And also in the same article that I read, that from 2007 to 2024 till date, Apple has sold like 2.6 billion iPhones. So there are like 2.6 times the people have, experienced that first time unboxing
Right.
the iPhone. It feels so great, right? Do you have anything to add on? Like, do you recognize any other brand who has introduced UX strategy in it, and that has like made a huge impact in their brand business?
Right. So I'll give an example of Coca-Cola. Right. So you might have seen, obviously, you have seen those glass bottles, right? Coca-Cola glass bottles. Everyone I mean, in my childhood, I have drank a lot of, that cold drinks and all. So, but there came a time when that glass bottles were, people were not going to the shops to drink that, Coca-Cola drink or whatever it is, or any kind of any brand, right? So people were avoiding glass bottles. So what I mean, they as a designer, or if I think from a design perspective, what they would have done is they replaced the glass bottle with plastic bottle. Why people were first question is why people were neglecting that glass bottles, because you cannot carry that bottle. You have to place it back in the crates, right? So you have to stand there. That will need like that will need time, right? That needs time, and nobody has time these days, right? So people are in hurry, everyone is in hurry, right? So what Coca-Cola did is they just introduced the plastic bottle, right? So you can take away the bottle, you can keep it anywhere, you can, right? And also, one more problem was with that bottle is you cannot close the lid, right? So that was also the problem. So they introduced the plastic bottles. That's how they solved a problem through design, right? And also business was also aligned to that, right? Business strategies was also aligned to that. In that time, after after like introducing plastic bottles, they started a campaign where they started putting names on the bottles, right? So that user can relate to their, and users starting tagging their family members and people they love, right? So that is how the selling of Coca-Cola bottles started again. I mean, I would say, yeah, again.
Great. That's a great example. Now, let's see if you have any tips for someone who is trying to level up their UX strategy skills.
Okay.
Have you got anything to?
Yeah, I will say that do a lot of research, like, because understanding what your targeted audience want, your targeted user wants, is the main thing. And understand your business objective, like what is the like purpose of like building your product, like what the business want from that product, what is their goal. Like this is like the main thing. Like for example, I will give you an example of Airbnb. You have heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, their journey started from they used to sell air mattresses, like not sell, they used to rent out air mattresses, right? And later they wanted to scale up the business to by renting the houses to the guest and the host kind of thing. Later, like they face like lots of issues, but they made up a strategy where like they first thought of like the guest and the host, like how the like trust can be built between them, like their targeted audience, of course the security should be there. They also like worked on their designs, like how easy should booking system should be, like not too complicated, very easy, like it's very step to step by. And I think like now time, like if you want to travel, most of the people use Airbnb. And the other thing is like the like if you're building a product, like for example Airbnb, they have used like very amazing photographs. Like if you're renting out a place, you should actually see how it looks like, right? So they have used like a feature where like the people from Airbnb, they go by themselves and take the professional pictures of that place, and then like they help the host to upload it and all. So these kind of things are there. So like you have to like understand what the like objective is and what your user wants. Like this is like the main thing, I will say.
Yeah, like also it depends on the outcomes, right? If you are not focused on the outcomes, it's obvious that you are focused on the outputs, like just delivering the stuff, and you are not making the actual impact. And the reason why Airbnb succeeded, because they actually, I mean, yeah, because the experience of the application got changed. They revamped the UI and made it better, but they are making impact on someone's life, right? So in a good way. So that is the one reason that UX strategy helps you, to recognize what can be something that can make a better impact on others' lives, right? So this is the crucial point.
So when you talk about all the outcomes and everything, now how do you think we can measure these outcomes? Like how can we measure these key experience indicators?
Okay.
How do you think we can measure it? What are the steps?
Okay, so first of all, it should be started with the research, right? Research on the users. We should research on the stakeholders, right? We can conduct stakeholder interviews. We can conduct user interviews to understand. First, I'll talk about the user research, right? To understand the needs, the pain points, right, and the frustrations of the user, and in what mental state they are, right? It's also depend, like it also what how's their psychology working, how's their behavior, right? So if we gather that data will help us to make decisions, right? That data will help us in making decision what is right or what is wrong, what should be added or what should not be added, right? Whatever the must have feature, what have the should have feature, we can think around that. And after doing that part, after doing the research part, also for stakeholder interview, we will be knowing about what is the vision. If we take the stakeholder interview, we will be knowing about the vision of this the stakeholder for this product, right? And what mission they are, what value they want to give to the user, right? So after doing research and making some decisions, you will create wireframes, you will create designs, right? And let's say design is already into the market, and now you have to see the data, right? You have to keep your eye on the data, right? How is the data coming, right? And like what at what I mean, from my previous experience, I was working in a product based company, and my task was to redesign the application, and I mean, to give it a new aesthetics, right? And to redefine the navigational flow of the app. So I used to, before and after, I used to see the data. I used to see the data on the heat maps, right? So I used to see the data, how users were performing any particular task, and how they are performing now. If they are able to perform that task in a better way or in a quick, I mean, in a short time, then UX, that means your UX strategy was on the right path.
Yes.
So that is how you measure.
Absolutely.
To like more simplified what Ritik have so told, like it's mostly you can like indicate in like five things you need to like take care of. Is like the first thing is goal, second thing is like what you currently have as in your mind, what is like the current result, what do you want to change, like what will be the modification done to your product that can bring more customers. Fourth thing will be again the what are the result of the all the changes you have made. And fifth thing will be the feedbacks, like from the users, how they're using it, how the experience, like for example, um, like you have a e-commerce platform, okay, your current goal is to increase the purchase, okay, and what problem you are currently facing is like 60% or like 70% people are putting the clothes on like the basket, but they're not checking it out. Like checkout is not being done, they like just close the application after that before doing any like purchase or whatever. Like the you want, what you did was like currently you have like, if you want to buy like clothes or any like product you want to buy, you have to log in. Now what they can change is like they can use a guest mode. So like people don't have to log in, they have to create account if they don't have the account. So they can just use like a guest mode, and the result will be like more like better than what they have before. If it was like 60% before, it will be increased to like 80% now. Like more people like focus on purchasing without like register themselves, because guest mode also kind of take your phone number or email address as well, right? So it's like not everyone has time to just register yourself just to buy a product or buy a clothing piece, right? So of course the result will also depend on what we have. So like your user will be like, yeah, this is like great, you don't have to log in, I can buy again from this platform. And this, like, of course the experience of that whole website depends, but like the experience of how you can just easily buy a product without I can say without logging in or register yourself buying it as a just a guest, like this is like one of the main thing.
So here also strategy plays an important
Yeah,
role, right? So basically, you're trying to get the users and make their task easier. You're not
Yeah.
giving them, overwhelming them by asking so many information. You're just letting them go through your website. They like it, and when they come to that point, at the last point when they have to make the purchase, then I don't think people would want to go back. Then they're okay to spend that time and register themselves and proceed with the purchase. I think this strategy is mostly applied in the hotel booking. Like you mentioned, Airbnb also has that. They don't take your information, even the login information, right away. They let you browse through the website, and then at the end, when you're almost there, you finalized everything, you're about to book it, then they're okay to give out their information, right? That's a good one. And now, can you tell us? We already spoke a lot about strategy, and there was this one other strategy which kept on coming in between, which is business strategy. Now, can you tell what is the difference between UX strategy and business strategy in a simple way?
Okay. So the UX strategy focuses on user, right? As we spoke earlier, and the business strategy focuses on the organization, right? How like you want to grow the organization in let's say different cities, let's say different, how you want to grow, right? Grow in terms of number, grow in terms of revenue,
Right.
right? Grow in terms of financial metrics and all. So business strategy will tell about that. And coming on to the example that Parul gave about Airbnb, as if I compare the business strategy and UX strategy of Airbnb, it would be like business strategy was to design a platform which will be, easy to use for the customers, intuitive, right, and many other things. And the business strategy was to go global,
Right.
right? So that is how, like, I mean, this is the major difference, I would say. So right now, as you can see, Airbnb is everywhere. They started from they started from San Francisco, and they're all around the globe because of the business strategy only, because they wanted to expand, they wanted to grow.
Right. Now, can you tell me, like, how a UX strategy and a business strategy, both of them are well aligned, and that has brought some substantial value? You already mentioned that Airbnb is basically has combined. Again, UX is where the interface part comes, where the designers plays an important role, and business where their goal is larger. The
Right.
lens is like larger. They want to look through more through numbers and the profit. It's
Right.
not just about the designs, it's about the business, it's about the money that you make, right? Do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I can like always give you an example, like how like I cannot say the name of that company, but it's a very very well known company. So like they have like somehow saved $3 billion just to like put a button there, like just by bringing a new strategy there. Like I gave you example of like the guest mode, right? So like this company, they did not have like the guest mode option before. So user like they put the all the things in the like cards, and they have to like log in again, register again. That is like something like a bad user experience like for them, right? No option is a guest user. So like user usually like stop after like putting the things in the cart. So what they did was like, and because of that they were facing a very big amount of loss, like very loss, because they are like customers are using that platform but not buying anything from there. It's like not like the app is there, but it's not like useful. That it indicates that, right? So what they did was they put just a guest user option there, and like their revenue got up. Like they saved like $300 billion just because of that. So like I would say like business strategy is like something like what profits business, a roadmap that will benefit business and make their customers happy. And UX strategy is most like the roadmap for both, like what our objectives are before building the product, like keeping the customers in mind. Yeah.
Great. I feel business strategy and UX strategy both go hand in hand. You cannot have an application which is beautifully designed, but with no users. And if you cannot have an application which is not designed beautifully but is making more profit, and along with that it is also frustrating the users, right? You have to make sure along with your designs, the broader aspect of the business are also considered. An example could be a fintech app, right? What we as UX designers or UX strategists do is to focus on how to make the users come back to the application and use it, how to make the experience more enjoyable, like I mentioned in my first introduction, right? But what is the role of business strategists here? So everything that we do is when they come to the application, but what business strategists do is how do we get these users? For example, if we take the example of a fintech application, we design the application and everything, we make it look very prettier and all, give amazing experience for the users, right? But from when somebody's thinking from a business perspective, he or she has to think from a point where, okay, this application, will it be accessible for the tier 1 city or tier 2 city? For example, cred, you cannot access or let the users use it in the tier 2 cities, right? You have to make sure that the users are easily able to access it. And when you basically acquire the users, where are you getting the users? Once you get the users, they also, business strategists I'm talking about, they also think about how to retain those users. What are the business models that they can change, or they think
Competitive advantages.
retention metrics and all about that, right? Like how they introduce some new programs, which is like loyalty programs or reward programs and everything. That comes from the business point of view. Later is when we add some more elements and our thinking and our strategies to it, and make it better. So I feel UX and business strategies both go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's a very nice example, and you have explained in a very simpler way. That I mean, the one thing that I understood is like business is this side, UX is this side, and strategy is a bridge.
Yes, right, absolutely.
Yeah, same is like when Google Pay launched, they were like, why, like people were like, why should we use it? We have other options as well, right? But they introduced like cashbacks, rewards, and other ideas as well, which like what should I say? Like grasps the user's attention to use it. Like now they have kind of reduced it, but people still use that application, right? So
Amazing. Do you guys have any inspiring stories to share about you using UX strategy in a product that you've used and that has made an impactful change or something? We spoke a lot about how other bigger brands and well-known brands are doing it, but it could be a small thing. You have taken that one baby step in your application or in your product that you're working on, and that has made some impact. Do you have anything like that?
yeah, I have one thing. There was a project I was working when in college. I was a freelancer at that time. They have used they were it was like a banking kind of application where you can store some money. It was a banking wallet kind of, I can say. Okay, so they have made icons like yellow color with the background of very light gray color. which did not go at all. So like no accessibility guidelines was there, nothing like a proper research was not done by the previous designer. So I worked on that. Like I told them like how it will impact the like future, how will it impact the users and the product itself. So I kind of suggested like we should use a better color and to make it like more useful and accessible for the user.
You have it.
Yeah, I have like from my like previous experience, when I was like working in I was working in UI. There I was like working as a shadow designer in strategy team because I was an intern that time. So I used to see like how these people are making strategies, how what all these things, that things look like something, they're doing something great, right? And it
Yeah.
feels great also. So what they were doing is they did research, right? And they took insights. They had lot of insights, and based on those insights, they made some design principles for the product. Right. So it is important to make design principles, right? And with the help of strategy only, UX strategy only, you can make design principles that visual designers need to follow, right? And those design principles will help you to gain trust, to maintain the consistency throughout the product, and to actually retain the customers.
Yeah.
Right. And the number that, I mean, there was also a business goal also that they wanted to reach a number in there was number like 29k crore CR, right? 29k CR they wanted to reach by 6 years, like in 6 years. So we actually showed that this is how you will, this is something that these principles will add some value to the design, and this is how user will come back to the product, and user will feel valuable, and user will feel welcomed, and all of those things. It's all about the, as you told earlier, like emotions.
Well said. One last point I would like to add is, us being designers and making any strategy, it's important for us to be accountable for whatever the strategies that we have done for the results. It could be bad, it could be good, either of it. But it is important for us to, keep iterating,
Right.
because not it might hit the mark right sometimes, but it might not sometimes, right? So it's like an iterative process, and we need to make sure that we are understanding it well, and we are getting there at some point. Sometimes your strategies could work, like I said, and it could be a hit. Sometimes it might need some tweak based on the understanding.
Right.
So one thing which is really important here is validating, testing, right? Once
Right,
you
right,
have
right.
delivered a product, it's always important for you to go back and talk to the users and understand how are they feeling, what can be changed, right? Because if you are not getting that right validation from the end user, then there's no point of you just keep designing, right? They should, of course, you cannot be rigid that okay, this is what I have done and this is what has to go out. You have to be adaptable in a way that whatever users want, you should be able to
Change.
tweak
Yeah.
and make those changes to that. So yeah, I think that gets us to the end of this insightful session. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you. It was super fun. I hope our viewers will also get to learn a lot, or maybe got some insight from our conversation, right? Do you guys have anything to add?
It's just thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It was a
Yeah.
nice session.
Yeah.
Nice session.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. It was lovely having you both on the show. Hope to see you again in my show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Looking forward
Yeah.
to that.
Same. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. It was, I hope you all enjoyed the show. I will be back again with another episode. Until then, see you all. Bye bye.